my question for you is, did you see the Stephen A. Smith Trump exchange during the Cuomo town hall where he somehow decided to talk about Blacks in Harlem and protests about academic freedom? And I'm trying to get somebody to explain to me how that answer made sense.
I hate to tell you this, I didn't even see the interview. Mark, I'm sure you have some great thoughts on this. I didn't see the interview. I didn't see the exchange. I know Stephen A. is a firebrand, to say the least. I know he's been making a lot of news lately when he went on The View and said Trump got a landslide, but I just didn't see the interview. Sorry, I'm not up to date on that.
I saw it, and my main point about it is Trump is going to do everything he can to mess with the Democratic Party for the next 3 years and make whoever their nominee is as weak as possible. And he knows Stephen A. Smith is never going to be the nominee. He knows he probably won't run. But he knows that the more he talks about it, the more he toys with it, the more he's Sherman-esque about it, the more I'm sorry to say Sherman-esque in this context, I guess, but the more he does that, the more it discombobulates and diminishes the Democratic field. So that's all. That'll be my view of almost anything President Trump says about the Democrats.
Mark,
yes, sir. Yes,
Mark,
sir.
You must be referring to him suggesting that Stephen A. should run.
Yeah. Is that not what you were talking about?
You didn't pay attention to it either then.
Well,
Stephen A. Smith asked Trump a question about whether his attack on academic freedom at Harvard was basically appropriate or not.
I didn't see that part.
And Trump's first thing out his mouth was, well, they had riots in Harlem, but the people in Harlem marched and they supported my attack on Harvard. And I got a really high Black vote this year. And there's a lot of folk, and you can go look at some publications that did pick up on it. I noticed Fox News made no mention of it whatsoever. But if you go to about minute 27 of the full video, you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
So are you saying this is a rare instance where Donald Trump was racially provocative or insensitive?
I think senility and his racial whatever craziness merged together.
Yes. Commingled.
Yes, I think they commingled.
All right, Noah, see if we can find that clip. Let's roll what Hogan and I believe and hope will be the correct clip.
Appreciate your time. Mr. President, thank you for your time. It's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this. We had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happened to be on my side. I got a very high Black vote. You know that. Very, very high Black vote. It was a very great compliment to me. I did criminal justice reform. I did opportunity zones for one of the greatest economic deals ever for the Black and Hispanic community. I got tremendous. They agree with what I'm doing with respect to Harvard. Harvard gets $4 or $5 billion a year from the United States government in the form of grants, and they have $53 billion, and yet they don't treat the people right. They take foreign students, nobody knows where they come from, and they viciously hate our country. And I'm saying if we're going to give grant money, we want people in that school that are going to love our country, not people that are going to hate our country. They run a bad operation up there, and we have to get to the bottom of it. On top of that, they said they want to teach their students remedial mathematics. That's basic math. 2 and 2 is 4. And you say, well, Harvard's supposed to be so great. Why do people have to have remedial? That's basic, very simple mathematics. So we're looking into Harvard, but we give them billions of dollars a year, and that may very well stop. And that's up to the president. It's up to our government. We don't have to grant them money. We can grant that money to people that really need it, and frankly, people that you'd rather have me give the money to, Stephen.
All right, couple things, and then I want Hogan to respond, and then we're probably going to listen to it again, and you'll see why. First of all, Chris has been a stalwart of the two-way community for a long time, and he is often correct. Couldn't be more correct here. Could not be more correct. and I'll say this. I said earlier in the program that sometimes the media says Donald Trump was a liar, and he's not, and it's a wrong thing to do. This thing should have gotten a ton of attention. Shame on the media for not giving this attention, because whether you want to say it was a synapse issue, or whether you want to say it was just extremely insensitive, there's nothing sensible about the beginning of that answer. Nothing. Hogan, do I need to play it again, or you just want to say that was a ridiculous answer?
No, I don't know the context before it.
Oh my goodness, you don't need any context before it.
Yeah, I do. Were they talking
even
about Harlem? Did he bring up Harlem just out of?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, nothing before it. Nothing before it.
You know what it could be?
Let's stipulate. Okay, there's nothing before it.
It could be the weave.
Okay, play it again, Sam. You played it for me. You can play it for me. Play it again.
Appreciate your time. Mr. President, thank you for your time. It's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Stop.
Well, I say this. We had
Stop it, Sam. Stop it. Okay, Hogan. The question was about Harvard and about academic freedom and punishment. Nothing about race.
Right.
Nothing about Harlem. Nothing about protests in Harlem. It's about academic freedom at Harvard and the president.
I got you.
Okay.
Nothing about his black vote percentage.
Nothing about his black vote percentage. So now here's the president's response.
Well,
Play.
Frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happen to be on my side. I got.
Stop. Now, maybe he's mixing up Columbia. For a second, I thought maybe he's mixing up Columbia, because Columbia is in Harlem, Morningside Heights, but it's Harvard. It's Harlem adjacent. Okay. And the parts of the Columbia campus are in Harlem. But he's saying that people in Harlem protested against Harvard. That's just, I don't know what that could be referring to. Now, again, I'm very forgiving of people mistaking words, but this is more than mistaking words. What's he talking about, Hogan?
Well, again, you just brought it. I don't know, because I've not talked to him about it. You can't ask me to answer if I've not had a conversation with him. He could be talking about Columbia. He could. Were there protesters from Harlem going to Harvard and protesting? I don't know.
No.
Black folk in Harlem didn't give a rat's behind about what was happening over on Columbia's campus. Trust me.
Hogan, is your advice to people like me and Chris who watch that to say, he probably meant something sensible, just move on? Is that your advice?
Look, again, I haven't spoken to him about this. You can't ask me to ascribe it. And this is part of the problem with the media writ large.
No,
you can't ascribe something to it unless you have a conversation and ask the guy.
Okay, so I'm asking you seriously. As Tom would say, this is a serious question. Mm-hmm. Chris and I are troubled by that clip because we find no good explanation. We have 2 or 3 explanations. None of them are good. What would you advise us as citizens interested in the polity and the public square? What would you advise us to do? Just pretend it didn't happen? Assume the best intentions on the president's part?
Well, you never ascribe, what is it? Is it Hanlon's razor or Occam's razor? Hanlon's razor. Don't ascribe malice, something that wasn't malicious. Yeah, something like that. I mean, look, again, you have every right as a citizen, every right as a host to ask those questions. That's fine. I don't know, because I've not talked to him about specifically what he was talking about there, but whatever. Next time you see him, could you bring that clip up for us? I will absolutely bring that up and ask him.
A good use of your time with the president. Chris, thank you for raising that. I'm embarrassed I hadn't seen it. I didn't watch the whole event. I watched clips, and I don't know why people didn't highlight that clip.
Hey, Mark, can I just say one last thing?
Yes, sir.
I'm way less concerned about what was actually going on in Trump's head or not than I am the pretzel bending and backflipping some of my friends on here, the lengths they're going to make it not mean anything one way or the other.
Okay.
That's my issue.
I don't know that it means anything. I don't know that it means anything one way or the other. I mean, I don't know. Were there protesters? I've got questions. Were there protesters from Harlem at Columbia? I don't know. Were there protesters from Harlem at Harvard? I don't know.
I can tell you this, Hogan. If there were protesters and they broke the law, I would send them straight to Alcatraz. Talk about the weave
It's gonna be reopened soon, so get ready.
Talk about the weave. Chris, thank you, man. I appreciate you
Ron.
bringing
Thanks,
that to our
Chris.
attention.
Appreciate it.
Hey, want to be part of the two-way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing.